Hello coin collectors and history lovers. Welcome back to Old Charles the channel, where we explore the fascinating stories and hidden values behind old coins from around the world. Today, we're diving into the history and value of the 1974 United States half-dollar coin. At first glance, it looks like an ordinary piece of pocket change, but depending on its condition, mint mark, and rarity, it could be worth more than its face value. Let's explore. The 1974 half-dollar belongs to the famous Kennedy half-dollar series, which began in 1964 to honor President John F. Kennedy after his assassination. WY 1974, the U.S. Mint was producing these coins in copper-nickel clad composition. That's a copper core sandwiched between two layers of nickel. Why? Because in 1971, silver was completely removed from circulating half-dollars due to rising costs. The obverse features the portrait of President Kennedy, designed by Gilroy Roberts, while the reverse shows the presidential seal with the eagle, designed by Frank Gasparo. San Francisco Mint proofs, ***. About 2.6 million proof coins minted. With such high numbers, most 1974 half-dollars are not rare, but condition and type matter a lot for collectors. Now let's talk about what everyone wants to know. How much is a 1974 half-dollar worth today? Most 1974 half-dollars you find in pocket change or circulation are worth only 50 cents to about $1, a coin with nowhere sharp details. And bright luster can be worth $2 to $10, depending on grade. At this level, collectors pay a premium. These coins can fetch $25 to $75. Sometimes higher if graded by PCGS or NGC. Standard proofs are worth around $5 to $10. Cameo or deep cameo proof coins can be worth $20 to $50 or more, depending on quality. While most 1974 half-dollars are common, the well-preserved and proof varieties can definitely be valuable. Some error types include double die obverse, DDO, ***, doubling visible on Kennedy's face, or lettering that off-center strikes, ***, where part of the design is missing. Clipped planchets, * coins with a missing curved section. These errors can increase value significantly, sometimes up to hundreds of dollars, depending on rarity and demand. The 1974 Kennedy half-dollar may not be the rarest coin in American history, but it carries deep symbolic value, remembering one of the most beloved U.S. presidents. While most are only worth face value, uncirculated, proof, or error coins can bring exciting returns for collectors. If you happen to have a 1974 half-dollar in your collection, take a closer look. It might just be worth more than you think. The story of the 1974 Kennedy half-dollar actually begins a full decade earlier, in 1964, when the United States Mint first introduced this coin. The Kennedy half-dollar was created as a tribute to President John F. Kennedy, following his tragic assassination in Dallas, Texas, on November 22, 1963. The nation was grieving, and officials wanted a way to honor Kennedy's legacy. Within just a month of his death, Congress approved the design of a new half-dollar, replacing the Franklin half-dollar that had been circulating since 1948. Designed the obverse portrait of Kennedy, another mint engraver created the reverse, featuring the presidential seal with the eagle, holding arrows and an olive branch to symbolize both strength and peace. The first Kennedy half-dollar was released in 1964 and made of 90% silver and 10% copper, making it a coin of real intrinsic value. Demand was so high that millions of Americans rushed to banks to get one, not just as currency, but as a keepsake of their fallen president. By the late 1960s, the price of silver rose dramatically, and people began hoarding silver coins. The U.S. Treasury faced a shortage of coins in circulation. As a solution, Congress passed the Coinage Act of 1965, which eliminated silver from dimes and quarters and reduced the silver content in half-dollars from 90% to 40% from 1965 through 1970. Kennedy half-dollars were minted in 40% silver. But in 1971, even that silver content was removed, and the coin shifted to a copper-nickel clad composition, a copper core with a thin nickel coating. This change made the half-dollar less attractive for silver hoarders, but it also marked the beginning of declining use in everyday commerce. WY 1974, the Kennedy half-dollar had become firmly established as a clad coin. The public still admired its design, but the coin wasn't commonly used in day-to-day transactions anymore. Instead, it was increasingly collected or set aside as a keepsake. The year 1974 was significant in American history and in coinage. President Richard Nixon was embroiled in the Watergate scandal, which would eventually lead to his resignation in 1974. Despite this turbulent time, the Kennedy half-dollar remained a symbol of optimism and respect for President Kennedy. At the Mint, production of the 1974 half-dollar took place in 3 locations. The Philadelphia and Denver coins were struck for circulation, while the San Francisco proofs were intended for collectors. The design remained consistent: Kennedy's left-facing bust on the front, and the heraldic eagle on the back. But what makes 1974 particularly interesting is that the Mint was preparing for the nation's bicentennial celebrations, which were only 2 years away. In 1976, the half-dollar would get a temporary new reverse design featuring Independence Hall. So, the 1974 issue is one of the last regular designs before the big bicentennial change, making it a piece of pre-bicentennial U.S. coinage history. By 1974, something else was happening. Americans were no longer using half-dollars in daily life. Vending machines didn't accept them. Most cash registers didn't need them. And because people still viewed the Kennedy half-dollar as a commemorative piece, many were saved rather than spent. This meant that, although the U.S. Mint struck hundreds of millions of 1974 half-dollars, many of them never saw heavy circulation. This explains why uncirculated rolls and high-grade examples are still fairly easy to find today. The Kennedy half-dollar remains one of the most iconic American coins ever made. 4. Collectors. The 1974 edition represents a time when U.S. coinage had fully transitioned out of silver. A design that was still new enough to feel special, but already beloved by the public. A pre-bicentennial issue, right before the big design shift of 1976. Even though it is not rare, the 1974 half-dollar connects collectors to a very specific era in American history, the mid-1970s, when politics, economics, and culture were undergoing massive change. Owning this coin is like holding a piece of that story in your hand. When it comes to coin collecting, condition is everything. The 1974 half-dollar may not be rare, but its value changes dramatically depending on how well the coin has been preserved since it left the U.S. Mint over 50 years ago. But let's break this down step by step using the coin grading scale ***, which ranges from heavily worn coins to perfect, flawless examples. In this grade, the coin has seen many years of circulation. The details on President Kennedy's hair are almost flat, and the lettering around the rim may be faint. The eagle on the reverse is still visible, but most fine details are gone. A coin like this is basically worth face value, 50 cents, slightly better than good. The rim is complete, and you can make out Kennedy's profile clearly, though the finer lines in his hair are almost gone. The eagle still lacks detail. These might sell for 50 cents to $1. Kennedy's face and hair are visible, though the high points show clear flattening. The eagle feathers are mostly worn down, but still recognizable. Collectors might pay 75 cents to $1.50 for these. A noticeable improvement. Some details in the hair remain visible, and Kennedy's cheek and jawline stand out more sharply. On the reverse, the eagle's wings and shield begin to show better separation. Value is around $1 to $2 coins at this level show only lightwear. Most of Kennedy's hair strands are still visible, and the eagle on the reverse has solid feather details. The coin still has decent eye appeal. These sell for $1.50 to $3 nearly mint state. Coins in AU grade show just the slightest trace of wear on the highest points, like Kennedy's cheekbone or jaw. Luster is still partially present. Collectors may pay $2 to $5 for these coins. These are the coins collectors love the most. Mint state coins mean they were never used in circulation. Instead, they may have been kept in rolls, bags, or collector sets. The coin is uncirculated, but may have noticeable bag marks, scratches, or dull luster. Worth $3 to $5 coins are sharper with brighter luster and fewer marks. Kennedy's portrait looks strong, and the eagle's detail stands out well. These can sell for $8 to $20. These coins are visually stunning, with sharp strike, booming luster, and very few distractions. Kennedy's hair is fully detailed, and the eagle is crisp. Value ranges from $25 to $75 or more, depending on grading service and eye appeal. Very rare for the 1974 half dollar. Coins at this level are nearly perfect with almost no flaws visible even under magnification. Prices can exceed $200 $500. Though such coins are seldom found outside professional grading, in addition to circulation coins. The U.S. Mint struck special proof coins at the San Francisco Mint in 1974. Proofs are made with polished dies and specially prepared blanks, resulting in mirror-like fields and frosted designs, sharp details with slight imperfections, worth around $5 to $10 at near flawless, with strong cameo contrast, worth $15 to $30. These are the most desirable, featuring deep frosted designs and mirror-like surfaces. Values range from $30 up to $100 or more, depending on rarity and certification. When evaluating a 1974 half dollar, keep in mind some common problems that lower its grade and value. Many old coins have been improperly cleaned, which lowers value drastically. Collectors always prefer original surfaces. To sum it up, the condition of your 1974 half dollar makes the biggest difference in its value. In worn, circulated condition, worth only face value. In uncirculated mint state, worth several dollars to collectors. In gem mint or proof deep cameo, worth significantly more, sometimes tens or even hundreds of dollars. So, if you have one of these coins at home, take a closer look. A shiny, well-preserved coin might just be a hidden gem in your collection.